Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. Today we're doing a video. It's kind of overdue, and I'm surprised I have not done a video like this so far on the C5 Corvette platform. Chances are, if you're watching this, you either just bought a C5 or thinking about buying one, and here's a few things you need to watch out for. Alright, before I get into it real quick, I haven't forgotten about the shifter giveaway. I'm still waiting for my MGW to ship. They haven't shipped it yet. My C6 and C7 got here in like 2 days when I order them, so I don't know what's going on. But as soon as that's here, I'll do a fun comparison between the Hearst and the MGW and get a winner out. You're going to get the entire shifter assembly, lower box, upper box of course, the shift boot, C6 shift knob. So it's like a $450 deal. So make sure you subscribe and comment on the video to be entered for that giveaway. So I'm doing this in no particular order, but these are the 10 most common things I have seen, either experienced myself or online, just reading through forums, etc. Number one, that's simply the headlights. Not the headlights themselves, but the gears that control them going up and down. You might experience a very unpleasant grinding noise when you put them up after the fact or put them down. It'll follow with about 5 to 10 seconds of just really bad grinding noise, humming noise. That's simply the plastic they use. It doesn't hold up over time. And luckily, there's a fix for it, and that's simply using brass gears. They can be had pretty easily online to find them. Just do a quick Google search for C5 brass gear headlights, and there you go. The install process is pretty straightforward, and it'll last a long time with the brass gear fix. Number two, a leaky battery. From the factory, these cars had a liquid cell AC Delco situation, which was kind of had a design flaw where they would leak. And furthermore, where they would leak to underneath is where the PCM and a lot of the brains of the car are, right underneath it. So you would have all this acid leaking onto this very important electronics, pretty much making your car go haywire. And on top of that, a lot of your AC lines run through there as well. Yeah, it was just a bad time. So if chances are you don't have your factory battery anymore, but I recommend upgrading to a gel cell battery so there's no leakage, or just getting, I think they make trays even that go underneath the battery so no leakage can happen. Why they designed it that way, perfect storm with the shitty battery and just where everything was underneath. So yeah, watch out for batteries in this car. Can be detrimental to the health of your C5. Number three, this is one I'm all too familiar with, and that is the faulty gas gauge. When I got this car the first month, just cruising around, right at about half a tank, it would just dump. And it would just go to zero. Kind of alarming the first couple times it happens, but I looked into it and it's pretty common on this car. Long story short, sulfur builds up on the little sending unit that tells the gauge in the cluster, and you get erroneous readings, which sucks. You can replace the sending unit. It's kind of involved, and there's 2 tanks in this car, but I think the meter, if you will, or the sensors on the passenger side. Either way, I found that just running Techron, the fuel system cleaner, the 8-ounce bottle, once a month, I have not had an issue since that first month. So running that, it gets all that crap off the little sensor unit in there. I guess that sulfur builds up on it and it breaks it down really well. Running that once a month, it costs like $5, 0 issues. So I see a lot of problems, a lot of people talking about online. A simple bottle of Techron a month, good to go. And also use higher quality fuel, that also helps. I know Shell's good fuel, Chevron's good fuel. Stay away from Wawa. I've heard like Costco gas is kind of crap. That's what I've heard. But I try to stay towards more higher tier gas, if you will, Mobil 1, etc. And then also mitigate the gas fuel sending erroneous errors as well. Number 4, this is not one I've encountered yet. Someone has already done it to my car because there's a little hole in the cowl, and that is simply the oil pressure sensor just shits itself, and you get an extremely high oil pressure reading, which 99% of the time is false. It's just the sensors on these cars just suck. Where it's located, it's on top of the block, way aft, or way in the back. And to get to it, you either gotta drill a hole in your cowl, like I said, or just take the air intake off, which I would have done. Either way, it's fine, no big deal. But yeah, just take it off and then you have easy access to it. Unfortunately, there's not a quick way to do it. It kind of sucks either way. But like I said, if you have a high oil reading, chances are it's just the gauge. So don't freak out too much. Number 5, leaky butt in the differential. If you come out one morning and see gear oil on the floor underneath your differential, chances are it's just a gasket where it meets the transmission. Long story short, there's no proper gasket. It's just a liquid gasket deal they make. And a lot of times when you get it fixed, they don't use the correct type of gasket maker and you get the problem all over again. When done correctly, it should look almost like a plastic weld all the way around. A nice bead of very hard plastic. Whoever had my car before, it's been done. It looks really well, no leaks at all. But yeah, leaky butt is very, very, very common in this car, but it's also relatively easy to fix. If you know someone that knows what they're doing, fix it, good to go. Or you can tackle it yourself as long as you have the correct sealant. Leaky butt, it's a real thing. Number 6, and this is synonymous with all LS platforms I've encountered so far. All the ones I've had this issue at one point, except for my C7, just because it was kind of newer, I guess. But that is simply squeaking belts. This car is notorious for having squeaky belts. More specifically, it's the accessory belt with the AC. Quick, easy fix though. Just put on some gator back belts and change your tensioners. Good to go. It mostly happens in cooler, wet temperatures, high humidity. You'll hear it more. Once the car warms up to almost operating temperature, it pretty much goes away, but it can be annoying. Mine is just now starting to get squeaks. I'm gonna go ahead in the near future, replace the belts and tensioners just to be proactive. Quick and easy job. I think on the C5 though, you have to go from underneath, but no big deal. Pretty easy to do. Number 7, weird drivetrain noises. This car is notorious for all kinds of weird, just noises that don't sound like it's correct or right, but it is. Specifically, if you have headers, you're going to have a horrible ticking noise at about 2,000 RPMs. I've completely insulated my car and ran header wrap, and it's completely mitigated that noise. But yeah, you're going to get a lot of weird drivetrain noise in this car, all the way back from the transaxle to the clutch throwout bearing. If you turn the car off, if you have a 6-speed with the clutch not engaged, you're going to feel really bad. Just sounds like a total shitbox. Disengage your clutch, then turn the car off. It sounds much better. Valve train and driveline of this car, lots of weird little noises. Most of them are common, but if you feel it's not right, just take it into your local dealer or anywhere you get your maintenance done. Give it a look over. I know the torque tube bearings tend to go bad, and there's some other little things that get stressed over time, and just it's a very unique design. It's the first of its kind with the clutch up front, and then you have the torque tube, not a drive shaft, torque tube. And then it goes to your transmission, which is in the back, which is connected right to your transaxle, which your transaxle has your transmission and your differential, and it's really weird. But it has a recipe for a lot of weird little noises, so just be cognizant of that. Typically, nothing to worry about, but you never know. Number 8, electronics in this car, more specifically grounding issues. There's not a lot of places to ground things in this car because a lot of it's plastic and fiberglass, so they get very creative. And you'll notice a lot of the grounding points, there's multiple things on that one point. Over time with corrosion and heat and expansion and cooling, they'll become loose. You'll get a little bit of rust in there, corrosion in there, etc. You want to every couple of years go through and just all your specific points, make sure they're all good to go. Maybe unscrew them, clean them up really good, and put them back together. There are 13 points total. If you do a quick Google search, you'll find where all of them are. They're not too hard to find. The most common ones for wear are the ones up by the front bumpers, has headlights. There's 2 up there that get corroded pretty badly just because they're more exposed to the elements. And if you start having any weird gremlins with the car electronic wise, chances are it's a grounding issue. So watch out for that. Number 9, this one's not an issue, but more something you're going to hear and it's going to bother you, and that is the fuel pump. The fuel pump, the main fuel pump behind the driver's seat, is extremely noisy in this car. My first week of ownership, I was like, what the hell is that noise? And it's simply just a fuel pump behind your driver's seat. There's one that feeds, a low pressure one that feeds the high pressure. That one's pretty quiet, but the main one makes a lot of noise. Just be ready for that. And after about a week, you don't really pay attention to it anymore, but when you first get the car, it's kind of alarming, but it's normal. And if you decide to do insulation on your car like I did, it totally gets rid of a lot of that noise as well. Number 10, and this is probably the most pain in the ass one for this car, and that is simply the ABS module. They fail. Just over time, the logic board that controls that has a lot of little solder points, and over time they just go bad. Now, if you have an 01 to 04, it's serviceable. You can send it in, they'll send it back, good to go. If you don't, if you have 97 and 2000, it is not serviceable, and you're stuck trying to find a one from a different car. And as they get more and more finite, or harder to get, the more expensive they are, which kind of sucks. When it does fail, you're going to get a light on your dash, traction control, ABS light, and you won't have any ABS, which is a little concerning. It's still drivable, but not recommended. Like I said, yeah, if you 01 and up, easy day. 97 2000, more of a pain in the ass. There you go. So yeah, those are 10 things, the most common things I ran into and read on forums, etc. There's some more things too, and if anything I didn't mention that needs to be mentioned, by all means, put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, if you have any questions about this list or want to include something, just let me know. That's it, guys. It's Monday. It's cold out here, so I'm gonna go edit this video, enjoy the rest of my day off, and I hope you guys are doing the same. And I'll catch you guys next time. Later.